So Jon Stewart has mostly been awesome since he's gotten back on The Daily Show. Now, he did one segment the other week, which I got to be honest, I didn't like. It was very much like, hey, Democrats, don't just scream fascist at Trump, right? Like, that was the gist of it. There were also criticisms of him in there. But my reaction to that in 2025 is, no, if you call him a fascist, you're calling a spade a spade. What they're doing here is egregious, both Donald Trump and Elon Musk and the rest of the Republicans. I've never seen anything like this. This is above and beyond anything we've ever seen, right? Elon illegally seizing the Treasury, hacking into it and ransacking programs he doesn't like. This is beyond the pale. Sending 30,000 immigrants to Gitmo, beyond the pale. Beyond the pale, not even close, right? So I have quite the opposite approach. I want everybody to attack Trump substantively, but we're at the point where if you attack him substantively, you are going to use the F word. You're going to use it. It's because it's true. Because it's true, right? So I didn't love that segment from him. But basically every other segment he's done has been completely on point. And he's the voice that I feel like we need in this day and age, particularly because what did Trump show? What did he prove? He proved that U.S. politics has really become about the lowest common denominator. And Americans have soundbite attention spans. Americans are obsessed with entertainment and celebrity. Americans are obsessed with scandal. They're obsessed with controversy and charisma. And like, none of these things are good for a country, by the way, might I add. But you're literally not going to be able to change any of that. It's just the flow of the river of the society we live in. Like, there is no reversing the flow of that. It just can't happen. So you need to work within the confines of what is. And so a guy like Jon Stewart provides the perfect counterweight to a guy like Trump because he's controversial, he's charismatic, he's a celebrity, and he knows how to push all the right buttons. He's right on all the issues. And so he really is, I feel like, what we need. I'd love it if he was the Democratic nominee in 2028, but I don't think he has any interest in it, which is a shame. I wish we could like force him to do it. But anyway, Jon absolutely goes in here on Trump's trade war, among other things, and it's beautiful to see. Here we go.
When Trump ran for president, he had an urgent message about the state of our country.
Our country is being lost. We're a failing nation. We are a nation in decline. We have to fight for our country, and we have to fight like we've never fought before. It's like we're a giant garbage can.
How dare you? If anything, America is a recycling bin. Useless and made almost entirely of plastic. But that's it. We have to fight to save our country. And now Daddy's home, and he's about to take out the trash. And 2 weeks into the Trump presidency, we have a better sense of the evil and powerful forces that have been dragging our once great nation into decline.
The Trump administration removed transgender references from federal government websites. It now reads LGB instead of LGBT.
They have no idea the damage T was doing to our nation. Consonants! Because I think you'll agree with me, there is no T in USA. If you spell it out, obviously, that becomes an issue. And if you want a BLT for lunch, things can get ugly. But nothing will stop America's low T, like no T. What other changes are making us great again?
The Trump administration ordering all gender ideology references be removed, including pronouns and email signatures.
Oh, yeah. Consonants and pronouns. Your next, prepositions. No more pronouns and email signatures. Good luck signing your emails now, President Xi. Or should I say President him? Those are just the actions that this president has taken to prove that he's still kind of a dick. But believe me, he hasn't taken his eye off of America's true nation-state enemies.
President Trump is reiterating his threat to, quote, take back the Panama Canal.
Trump suggesting he could use military force to take Greenland.
President Trump had a fiery phone call with Denmark's prime minister, putting the NATO ally in crisis mode.
Denmark, Panama, Greenland, the axis of, where are those? Now, lest you think that pronouns and Panama were the twin forces shackling America to a prison of national decay, there are also more powerful forces at play in this dangerous world. some of them closer than what you might have ever imagined.
A new era of trade wars. Trump says tariffs are coming on Canada and Mexico and even the European Union.
What is happening? The EU? Canada? Do we have any friends? I mean, Mexico, I get. Trump's been hate-f***ing Mexico pretty much since the escalator. That's the truth. But Canada? Canada? We're picking a fight with our most reliable and pleasant friend, the Labradoodle of allies? But I guess that's Trump tough. You know what I mean? You gotta walk into the prison yard. Walk right up to the one guy who really doesn't seem to be a problem at all. And just, yeah! Take that, best friend, who has willingly signed up to fight in every ridiculous war we've ever gotten into. Let that be a lesson to the rest of the world. We are a terrible friend. Denmark.
I mean, jokes aside, though, like this genuinely is a long-term problem. I mean, it's bad because of the substance of what's happening right now. But also, I mean, think about it. Trump goes in there in 2016 or 2017, I should say, rips up the Paris Climate Agreement, rips up the Iranian nuclear agreement. Same thing this time around with the Paris Climate Agreement again. Rips up a trade deal he negotiated with Canada. He's about to get in on that right now. But why should anybody take our word on anything? We literally can't even make a treaty internationally anymore because who would believe us with anything we say or do at this point? Right? Like, our word is useless.
We used to fight the Nazis. Now we're scouring the globe for easy marks? What are we like, the Jake Paul of nations? I know. Is that what we're doing? No offense. I know China's out there, but Panama's a legitimate fight. In fact, I'm going to call everyone out in FIFA's CONCACAF division. Yeah! Oh, Trinidad and Tobago, you got to gang up, huh? That honestly, like, I can't believe you laughed at a CONCACAF joke. Soccer is back, baby. Look at me getting all skewed in the tie. Now, in Trump's defense, he did explain today why we're going after Canada.
I mean, I look at some of the deals made, I say, who the hell made these deals? Are so bad.
So bad. The trade deals with Canada, they're so bad. He's just looking and saying, who made these? Ladies and gentlemen, don't get ahead of me. Ladies and gentlemen, for your dining and dancing pleasure, come with me into the Wayback Machine to 2018. I give you the culprit of the terrible deal with Canada.
This morning, President Trump signed a new trade deal to replace NAFTA with the leaders of Mexico and Canada.
The best trade deal they say ever made.
No! A deal done by Trump's greatest nemesis, Trump. Now, hold on. But President Trump, this trade war has awoken a sleeping giant. Not Canada, not Mexico, but the Democratic Minority Senate leader. Release the Schumer!
It's going to affect beer, okay? Most of it, Corona here, comes from Mexico. It's going to affect your guac, because what is guacamole made of? Avocados.
Your response to the trade war is to f***ing tell us guacamole is made of avocados? Is that what? When the people found out, when the people find out the precious Super Bowl dip is comprised of mainly avocado, also tomato, sometimes onion, it's a bit much for me, obviously, with the spilkis and... Excuse me one second. Democrats, can you please stop trotting Schumer out there every time Trump traverses into the unreal? He's not good at this. What is the decision-making process here? Hey, who should we get out there to effectively battle one of the most savvy presidential media manipulators in history? Oh, I don't know. How about Schumer? He's uninteresting, but at least he's monotone. Oh, wait, and Chuck, before you go out there, you look too young. Put on these readers and lower them on your nose. Perfect. Honestly, listening to Chuck Schumer speak on almost any topic makes me want to bomb Canada. Kidding, of course, by the way. We have a couple of Canadians here from Montreal, and I don't want to upset them because I'm going to need an apartment soon.
You and me both, fella.
Now, before we get rattled by Trump's 2 to 2.5 front trade war, please understand, Mexico has already today received a 30-day stay on tariffs by promising 10,000 troops to the border, and we've promised to stop the inflow of guns. So, self-invented crisis averted.
Yeah, they had already agreed to that under Biden, by the way. We talked about this the other day. More people need to look into this because this was really eye-opening to me. There was an article that came out in the Daily Mail that said basically the MAGA robber barons, all the venture capitalist people who are linked to Trump, they all bet on a massive market crash, right? And there may have been inside discussions, inside information where Trump tells them, look, I'm going to threaten the tariffs, make it look like I'm doing them. The markets will tank, make a quick couple $billion, and then I'll back off, and then we're good, right? It's just, it could have been the same dude that just ran a crypto scam on his own supporters to the tune of tens of billions of dollars. There may have been a plan to threaten the tariffs, make it look like they are literally going into effect, then at the very last second go, oh, we worked out a deal. And him and his buddies could have got billions or tens of billions of dollars richer like that. Somebody needs to look into that, bro. Because that would be one of the things that explains such erratic actions.
But what can Canada do? I'm sure there's an equally performative gesture Canada could make.
What I'd like to see, Canada become our 51st state.
Mexico, you just sent a few troops to the border. But Canada, if you could, I don't know, cease to exist as an independent entity. Fair? What's that, Mexico? No, there's only 51 states. There's no 52nd. I'm sorry. Hold on one second. Washington, D.C.? Yeah, go yourself. All right. What's that, Puerto Rico? No, it's Canada. I think you know why. Canada. All right.
It really is so naked, isn't it? So you want Canada to become a state, but D.C. statehood has been debated for a long time, not interested in that. Puerto Rican statehood, you're not interested in that. But you want Canada to become the 51st state. Huh. What's the difference between those three? Tough one.
Of course, by the way, since we even were writing this show at like 4 p.m., Trump has already said now he's going to pause the tariff war with Canada as well because...
And what was the reason given? Oh, Justin Trudeau says he's going to send troops to the Canadian border to... What? Like, what is this? What? Oh, my God.
Of course, it makes sense to wrap up the trade war right now so that we as a country can focus on the biggest thing that's weakening our great nation.
Diversity, equity, and inclusion.
Yes. DEI, diversity, equity, and inclusion. MAGA world's blamed this scourge for everything from the fires in California to the attack on Bourbon Street to inflation to the Baltimore Bridge collapse to why your children are confused about the race of mermaids. Because mermaids, boys and girls, are gingers. They've always been there. The latest example being the plane crash in Washington. It was the DEIist. But don't take my word for it. Let's let MTV's Road Rules star and Fox & Friends B-teamer explain DEI.
You can't focus on diversity, equity, and inclusion when you try to hire air traffic controllers. You want the best. You want the brightest protecting yourself and your family.
We will have the best and brightest in every position possible. It is colorblind and merit-based.
Look, there's a lot of reasons why the FAA is in a bad place. But these guys would have you believe that the main problem is that standards were somehow lowered to make sure that a black person or a gay person gets a chance to land your plane, even though the requirements to become an air traffic controller are the same. But by culture warring this tragedy, Americans spent that terrible night holding their breath that the pilot or the air traffic controller wouldn't be a woman or a black person or in a wheelchair. Because what they're trying to do is make the default setting on competence in America a white guy. That's what this is, a reset to the factory default. Because, of course, these two are there purely based on merit and smarts.
Also, like, there was an amazing article that came out in CBS. Airport towers in this country, 90% of them don't have enough air traffic controllers. We are like 3,000 air traffic controllers short. And what did Trump do? Froze spending on the FAA, right when he came in, and they also blasted out that email that tried to get even more air traffic controllers to resign. Like, this is anti-government fundamentalism and extremism, and this is what it leads to. Deregulation and cost cutting in the government and pretending like these jobs don't matter, these jobs aren't serious because they're not in the private sector. This is the end result, and we've had two crashes and one crash on a runway that killed somebody driving a tug. 3 accidents with planes since Trump got in office. And that's only going to go up and up and up. This issue has now become like the gun issue in America, where it literally doesn't matter how many people get killed, doesn't matter how many school classrooms have kids with their heads blown off, doesn't matter how high that number gets, we hit a brick wall and they go, Second Amendment, something, we can't do anything, right? Now it's becoming like that on every single issue, because this is anti-government fundamentalism. This is anti-government extremism. This is the end result. We are no longer functionally capable of solving any problem because they have an ideological belief that government is always bad and wrong. Well, this is the end result.
And it's just taken for granted. It undercuts every black person of color, woman in this country, that the job that they have, they don't deserve. It's the mantra in the Republican Party that gives you brain-turning moments like this.
In the United States of America, we get ahead and succeed by merit and merit alone.
Yes, merit. And merit alone, says RNC chairwoman Lara, hold on, let me get my glasses. Trump. It was a blind submission, never saw her name on the application.
Unbelievable.
That's the irony of this whole thing. The people standing next to Trump on that terrible night, blaming DEI and trying to reinstall white guys as the only non-suspect pool of hires are themselves DEI hires for one particular identity that they possess, the ass kisser.
The president's leadership has been remarkable during this crisis. Mr. President, you make our jobs a lot easier. I want to echo what the Transportation Secretary said about your leadership. Thank you for your leadership and courage on that, sir. I think you make a really important point on that, Mr. President. The president is right. And again, I want to thank you for your leadership, Mr. President.
Bro, Pete Hegseth, is there a scandal he doesn't have? Alcoholic, sexual abuser, literally never met a country he didn't want to bomb. He said we should preemptively strike North Korea and Iran. He's got a fucking crusader tattoo. He chanted kill all Muslims while drunk in a bar. Drinks on the job. You think he got picked from merit? He got picked because he's a loyalist.
DEI. Sucking ego inflation.
Exactly. Yeah. No, he nailed it, man. It's getting tough, though, right? It's getting tough. I mean, I love these segments, but at the same time, it's getting tough to find humor in this. It's getting tough, bro. Because it's dark. It's dark. And it feels like we're in the abyss. And I don't quite know what to do about that other than fight. That's it. Hey, y'all, do me a favor and like and subscribe. It helps out big time in the algorithm. Click the bell as well for notifications when videos drop. And watch that video on screen right now. You know you want to.